What is up, all of you Ugnaughts and Jawas out there, and welcome back to yet again another episode of Mando Talk. I am your host, Caleb Keller. I survived my capture of the First Order on the planet of Batuu. I'm back, and I'm back with DJ Foster at Rebel Scum Texan. What's up, man?
I was worried you wouldn't make it out of there. No.
I wish I hadn't made it out of there.
I do not blame you. I've never been there, and I have an opportunity maybe next year to go.
Ooh,
it just depends,
That's cool. That's promising.
Yeah, my brother Gavin, who's been on the show, he's actually graduating high school, and my parents have always been really awesome. They've always said to all of us, I mean, me and my sister to this point and him, but they're like, all right, well, what do you want to do for a trip after graduation? He's like, Galaxy's Edge, Batuu. And I was like, okay, and so it just depends on how things line up for me and my wife and our daughter. So,
yeah.
We'll see how we get there when we get there. But I got to tell you this, man, I found something on Instagram that I consider like the most perfect Star Wars gold that I have to share it. And I found it, I think, sometime this morning, and I sent it to Caleb, and I was just telling him about it. So this is really for our listeners and our viewers. But before I go into this, one really quick thing, I want to say hi and hello and howdy to Blue Harvest Bricks and Rural Farm Boy, and now Rafa coming in as I'm saying hello. So glad all you guys are here, and I hope to see some more of the usual suspects here in the very near future. So, but this really cool thing popped up on Instagram, Caleb, and I gotta share it with everybody. But I found this profile of a guy named, I'm gonna say it's Don Bies or Baez. It's Bies. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this guy apparently worked on Star Wars, like the films and specifically the prequels. And everybody who knows, we're prequel people here at Mando Talk. I mean,
prequelists.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I'm on Mando Talk, is because of the prequel. So, and here comes Ryan V, and he finally got to watch our trailer ranking video from
Ryan
a few weeks ago.
V. So glad you got to check that out.
Yes,
and by the way, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's a great episode.
That was one of the best Mando Talk episodes right there. It was fantastic. But this guy basically released a call sheet that he had from Attack of the Clones. And today, 21 years ago, was Kenny Baker, aka R2D2's last day to ever work as R2D2 inside the R2 unit. So, of course, Kenny Baker did pass away several years ago, and he's one of those people who is just he's a fixture in Star Wars, fantastic guy. But he passed away, like I said, a few years ago, but today was the last time he ever worked on Star Wars. Now, you may be wondering, what was the shot? What was his last thing he did? It was the wedding scene at the end of Attack of the Clones.
Beautiful.
And to further this, okay, that R2 unit, that's one of the R2 units that was used on Empire Strikes Back. So Star Wars royalty using a Star Wars royalty prop for their final shot. How we've gone all this time without knowing this information is beyond me. So I wanted to share that at the top of the show, that I found that, because it is the coolest piece of Star Wars information I've learned in recent weeks. And
yeah.
Caleb, it's not really a news piece, but what do you think about that?
I mean, no, that's just phenomenal. I was just kind of mentally thinking of how many performers can kind of send off their super long character.
Yeah.
Kind of with an original artifact or just piece of, I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say, something they started the project with. I was sitting here just thinking Star Wars realm. I mean, Mark Hamill didn't wrap up Luke Skywalker with holding the lightsaber. Harrison Ford wasn't holding his blaster when he went away. All these characters that wrapped up their performances with the Star Wars franchise, so we think, at least.
Yeah, for now
at least. Didn't really get that opportunity necessarily. So This is pretty cool information. I'm pretty impressed with this.
Yeah, and that post goes on to say that R2 and 3PO, who 3PO was played by Anthony Daniels. So you've got Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker in a shot together, which is awesome. But they were shot against a green screen and composited into it later, almost 7 or 8 months after the wedding scene was shot. They were composited in later. So that means that wedding scene initially was just Hayden and Natalie and that guy who played the priest. That's it. That's all.
The guy that played the priest.
I don't know his name.
I don't either. We need to get him on the show.
Oh, that would be cool. Get us
really
in there.
Cool.
But anyway, I just had to share that. I thought that we would all appreciate that very much. And then also Michelle Minozy coming into the chat. Hello, Michelle. So
Hello
we've
there.
got a lot of our closest Mando Talk friends.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's super exciting to see you guys back. Always good to have our main core supporters. But let me throw a challenge toward our main supporter way. Throw a link of our YouTube channel to just friends and family that you know that love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because I've thrown this goal out there. We're trying to now get to 200 subs on YouTube by the time that Obi-Wan Kenobi premieres, which we've got some opinions on that coming up later in this episode. And that's our goal, and I really think we can get there. And you guys, our main crew, our main support, is what's going to help us get there. So keep spreading the word. I know RFB. Yeah. RFB does a phenomenal job with Star Wars podcasts. It's
insane, yeah.
So everybody, here's a challenge. Let's try to match RFB's energy. That's a huge challenge.
And a big ask.
Yeah, it is.
Because there aren't many people in the community like Roll Farm Boy. Yeah. So it's really cool.
Let's bump it down. Just try to send a link to 2 or 3 friends. How
maybe
about that?
Let's just start. We'll start here and we'll grow out here and we'll move forward.
No, it's great. It's all great. Glad to have you guys and keep on bringing it. We love to see it. Okay. We do have a pretty heavy show for you guys because, we were off. We were off last week, so we got some news pieces to kind of catch up on. But that's really our focus. Like, we don't have a discussion, a topic, but we have the news report's going to be our entire episode where we give our thoughts, opinions, observations on all the things that have come out the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And the first one, I'm ready if you're ready, DJ.
Go, yeah, man, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. The first one is probably one of the most recent ones, if not definitely the most recent. And it is that Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022 will kick off with a, quote, must-see showcase on Thursday, May 26th, featuring Lucasfilm's current live-action filmmakers with special guests to discuss upcoming projects, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and The Mandalorian. So first question that I'm going to just share and we'll discuss is overall thoughts on this announcement. For me, immediately, my thought was, okay, I would be shocked if Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and The Mandalorian are the only 3 things they talk about here. Because it says live-action filmmakers with special guests, and it only says including these 3. Where is the Bad Batch, guys? Where's it at? Come on. I think the Bad Batch will get mentioned in this little must-see showcase. Maybe it's going to have like a highlight reel of all the things upcoming. It'll have like a little shot here, a little shot there of a little bit of everything. Yeah. But those were my initial overall thoughts. What about you, DJ?
I'll say this, a few months ago, we had a big discussion about what the heck is going on at Lucasfilm, if you'll remember. And I remember thinking, we got to get something. And I forget that Celebration exists.
Yeah.
and I think it's because I've never been. And I've decided and I've convinced my wife I'm going for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. So 2025, catch me at Star Wars Celebration. But that's 100% happening. I'm, hell or high water, I'm going. But one of those deals. So, but I think it's important to remember that this event exists so that Lucasfilm can exclusively, almost exclusively release what they want us to know at this event, because it is a hyper fixation on Star Wars.
Yeah.
And D23 gives a few glimpses. That's where we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi announcement. And I think that was necessary for that one, because if that had been announced at Celebration, holy cow, I can't even imagine the uproar. It'd have been like partying in the streets, it'd have been like, I can't, Bourbon, it'd have been like Bourbon Street. That's exactly what it would have been like. So I think it's cool that we are holding on to things now to get to, Celebration. So I guess I'm backtracking those thoughts that I had back at that previous episode a little bit, but this announcement, knowing that there's a must-see showcase, that's going to be, I think, a banger. Just to be, I don't know how else to really put it. I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a statement for Lucasfilm, for Star Wars, to say, all right, Star Wars Celebration is this weekend. Oh, and also, don't forget that Kenobi's premiering tomorrow. Like, it's going to be massive. And again, I don't want to get into that Kenobi premiere thing because I got some thoughts I want to save for later for that.
Okay.
But as far as, like, predictions of what's going to be shown, and this kind of gets into Bespin Bulletin, tweeted out that he is hearing an Andor trailer is expected. I'm 1,000% expecting that.
Yeah,
totally makes sense. I also expect some. Well, I'll just go ahead and say it because it's natural for me to say. I think there might be a people that are there at Star Wars Celebration. You have the exclusive first look at the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of thing.
I was just thinking that.
I don't think it's going to be something that other people can see or stream or watch on YouTube or whatever, but people that are actually there physically. And I'll elaborate again. I'll elaborate on this more later, but I think that's something that they might be storing for people that are there. So those are my two top predictions. Yes, I 100% agree with Bestman Bulletin. We'll get an Andor trailer during this little kickoff thing, must-see showcase. Maybe later that evening, special guests, or not special guests, but people in appearance will get to see Kenobi's special look. And I'm going to throw in Bad Batch information as well. I think that's also just going to be at least teased in this must-see showcase. Predictions from you?
I was just thinking the Obi-Wan thing. I mean, you said you were going to save it for later, so I was like, okay, I'll hold off. But that's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, it makes sense that they would say, because I know at the last celebration, they did like a lotto drawing for people to go into certain panels. Yeah. And I bet that there's a lotto type panel that's like, you don't know about it until you're there kind of a deal. And so we'll be at home and we'll be seeing tweets. Oh my gosh, I got this lotto thing. Yeah. It's there's going to be something, I think, along those lines to see Obi-Wan like ahead of anybody else, and like, if you're one of those fans and that's what they do, I would love to be in that room, obviously, but like, that's incredible if that ends up happening. But to kind of stick with it here. Yeah. I imagine some sort of Obi-Wan, first look. I imagine people will get to watch the first episode together, and then Andor trailer. Yeah, it's kind of time, and Celebration's the right time to do it. And I'll go ahead and line up with you and get some Bad Batch information.
Let's go.
I would even say that we'll get concept art for like Ahsoka.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Because I don't think it's shooting until August.
That's what I've read.
Or I couldn't remember if it's April or August, but either way, there's something coming down the pipeline for Ahsoka, because that's a top 10 Star Wars character. So it makes sense that they would throw something in there, I think, for Ahsoka. So yeah, I think that's kind of a decent place to sit as far as our predictions go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A final thing that I'll say, and then we can move on potentially to the next news piece. Something else that sticks out. This thing's showcase is on a Thursday. Guess who goes live on Thursday nights? Mando Talk. We might have to do something special. And that's going to be busy because Kenobi premieres the next day. So we're probably going to have to do something special for that. So we're going to have a lot of things line up so we can cover all good things that weekend.
Which is going to be rough for me because I have to be somewhere that Saturday at the time we would normally go live.
Maybe they'll drop stuff Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday will be more chill.
Saturday, Sunday is typically the more chill days of Celebration. Like I the last two celebrations have sat in front of my TV and watched all of the coverage. Yep. Like I actually took a day off of work.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm glad that I'm not the only crazy person. But the cool thing was for me, it's like I could have worked simultaneously. It's not like I'm not teaching, so right. I could have been working simultaneously and doing that, but I was like, no, screw it. I'm taking the day off. I had on all Star Wars stuff on there. I was just there in spirit. Of course, that was the day they released the Rise of Skywalker trailer, so I was having a good day that day. But anyway, that Saturday, Sunday, typically a little more relax. And is it Monday? Are they doing a Monday thing again, or?
Ooh, I don't know if they're wrapping up on Monday.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's usually 4 days. and I can't remember how it works, but regardless, check out Mando Talk, because we'll be here to give you all of our incredible, takes. And I will say they will be incredible takes on whatever we got, because listen, we have no idea really what's coming. We're speculating.
Right.
And the fact that we don't know what's coming, that's what makes this incredible. So come back and check out what we got going here.
Yikes. We were just saying Saturday, hopefully that's chill.
No.
Here we go. The panel, Mando Plus, a conversation with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, will take place Saturday, May 28th. So there you go. Maybe that's Mando 3 trailer. Wow, this is going to be a jam-packed weekend.
I remember thinking that Celebration Chicago was the one to go to.
Yeah,
I'm starting to think that Celebration 2022 is the one that you should have gone to. So, it looks like Royal Farm Boy is going to be there. So, lucky you. But anyway, let's go ahead and go on to our second news piece, if you're cool with that, Caleb. All right, so The Mandalorian Season 3 has officially wrapped filming. Okay. I found, I'm sure Caleb saw it too when you were down in Batu, but when I got to type out this kind of news piece here, so I was actually very floored by that, because Caleb usually types out our news pieces for us, and not that he's hogging it, but it's fun every now and then to get to do that.
Hey, you did a great job, so you can do it full time, man. There you go.
But anyway, okay, so Season 3 Mando's wrap filming. All right, so this actually first was confirmed by members of the show's costume department. This really cool stitched, it looked like something your grandma would stitch. Is what I thought it looked, but it was like a half Mando helmet, half Mudhorn, I think is what it was.
Well, I thought it was a half helmet, half 3.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. Okay. I don't remember at this point, because it's been over a week.
Yeah, you're right.
But it was something really neat looking. Regardless, it's like, I would love that stitched into like a jacket or something.
Absolutely.
It was really cool.
A hat.
But yeah, something. So that was first confirmed there, and then it was seconded by Carl Weathers retweeting whatever tweet that was from his Twitter account, basically like, hey, it was a great season, be looking for it real soon, kind of deal. And it's like, Carl Weathers. And so I was in the middle of me rewatching Rocky. So I watched Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4, like within like 3 days. And during those 3 days, I'm sitting there like, it's Apollo Creed. And then I'm like, there's Carl Weathers right on cue. So it just worked out well for me, personally speaking. So, okay, here's the question I'm going to just pose to you, Caleb.
All right.
Does knowing this information give us the quote unquote Mando itch?
Yeah, it does for me.
Yeah.
I always get excited when I hear about the product that we're eventually going to be given is shot. There are people in this world that have seen The Mandalorian 3 in action, live action, so it's great. Now, obviously, they haven't pieced it all together. They haven't done the editing, but there's people out there that know whether this is going to be an absolute banger like the other 2 seasons have been, or maybe it's not going to be so good. I don't think it's going to be not so good. I think it's going to be great, but that's always exciting for me. So yeah, it definitely gives me the itch. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for Mando 3.
It's funny because like, I don't know if it's just the word itch or because we're talking about it, but like, I'm like, I need to,
is there something in my facial hair? Get this off of me.
Oh man, that was me today. I had to mow our church lawn today unexpectedly. So I like came home and I had like dirt and grass in my beard. It was disgusting. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of in the place of, yes, I'm excited for it, but I'm still not convinced that they planned anything past season 2.
Man. Okay.
I just, I'm sure like maybe like 20 years from now, someone will be like, oh yeah, we just thought it was going to be 2 seasons. No big deal. Cause that's how streaming goes. Netflix does that. They're like, okay, yeah, do your show 2 seasons. Let's see how it goes. And if anytime, and this is the truth in TV, 2 seasons, that's usually your guarantee for streaming. And if it's a success and people like it, boom, go do season 3. Well, we knew season 2 and 3 and maybe even 4 was coming right at the get-go with season 1. So I'm still trying to like, I want to see what they're doing post Book of Boba Fett with this. And get in there and see that. So that's kind of more of a take than anything, but I just wanted to toss that in there. Okay. So should we expect to see Carl Weathers punch someone in the face as Grief Karga in season 3?
I hope so. Was this because you watched him punch people in Rocky?
100%. 100%. I just, man, when he goes down fighting Ivan Drago, the Russian, you're just like, man, like you hate to see this amazing character and fighter go out that way, but it's honestly in character. So I kind of want to see Grief Karga kind of like, I don't know, get one or something. I don't know, but I think he's going to punch someone in the face. If he doesn't, it's a sad thing. It needs to happen. So anyway, that was 100%. So that's why I'm excited I wrote this piece, because I get to be about Apollo Creed.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have thought of writing that question. I do want to go back to you mentioning, Mando, you're not fully convinced that it was planned post season 2.
Yeah.
I remember in the early days of Mando talk, and I think it was fresh. No. It was leading up to season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
I remember an article. Well, no, not an article. Giancarlo Esposito himself teased that a season 4 had already been written. So I do think that there is a plan. It's just Book of Boba Fett has kind of derailed me seeing that plan, if that makes sense.
Sure. Well, they may have considered Book of Boba Fett to be a season 3.
That's a good point.
And so, like, I'm not saying that he's wrong, because obviously he's going to know way before I would. Duh. I'm just some dude from Texas.
Sure.
That's Giancarlo Esposito, a figurehead of TV, so he's going to know something. I guess that would be the only, like, I guess the word is caveat to my opinion, is hearing him say something about that. But, beyond that, I guess, I'm still having a hard time, because look, unless I really think that Mando handing Grogu off is the reason that I think that there was never a 3rd season planned up to that point.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because like nobody was ready for Grogu. Nobody was. Like, people worked on the show and they were like, yeah, Grogu, and all that good stuff. But then when it came out, everybody was like, I have to know what's going on with this character from top to bottom, 5-year-olds to 95-year-olds. I mean, it's just, you see it constantly about Grogu. So when he's gone, it's like, where's the show? That's what everybody thought. So I think that they just said, okay, that's where it's going to end. And it didn't, and here we are. But I mean, for now, that's just, I'm going to stick with that until somebody important, more important than me says so.
Fair enough.
Yep. Saw it coming.
You saw it. I was just loading it up.
Oh yeah. That's your fair enough. That's what you do.
You got to get up into the mic and
fair enough. ASMR, man. Don't talk.
All right. Next. Okay, hold on. What do you think, everybody out there, what do you think of the Mando season 3 having been shot? They shot the dang thing. They wrapped filming. So pretty cool. Great. Does it give you the itch? Does it make you excited for it? Or are you still kind of preoccupied with Kenobi? Because I could certainly see that. Certainly see that point of view. All right, next news piece. This one is pretty exciting for me. Donald Glover, a.k.a. Lando Calrissian, addressed his involvement with the upcoming Lando series on Jimmy Kimmel, the thing we've heard absolutely nothing about. When asked about his involvement, he said, "Am I? No, yeah, I have a lot of things. I like to blossom and then go away, and right now it's definitely the start of another one of those. I have like a ton of stuff I've been working on, but I just wanted it all to come out at the same time. I feel like that's what's important to me." Okay, Donald. You're Lando Calrissian in this show. You just basically confirmed it, in my opinion. What do you think, TJ?
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is about as blatantly obvious as when Liam Neeson was on Jimmy Kimmel and held up his lightsaber. Like, you don't bring Liam Neeson onto your show and then have him randomly, quote unquote, randomly talk about Star Wars with this Obi-Wan news coming out. You don't bring it up with Donald Glover, unless you're like, okay, come on. And like, Kimmel's a nerd. That's the great thing about Jimmy Kimmel. He is a nerd, and he just happens to be famous with a big, huge late night talk show. So for me to get Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, aka Troy from Community, backed into a corner, to me that says, yeah, he's involved. And I'm still not convinced this isn't like Billy D. Williams doing like this narration thing.
Ooh.
And then we jump back in time to Glover, because
that would be really cool.
They're wearing the exact same costume in Rise of Skywalker and Solo. I mean, there is no difference except for a cane, and maybe the cape. But like, I know I'm getting on a weird soapbox here about Lando, but I don't see. And Billy D. Williams just celebrated his birthday this last week too. So like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, let's figure out what's going on here, and let's figure out who's doing what and where they're going and what they're gonna actually make out of this show.
No, I agree. 100%. I expect. You know what? I'm subscribing to your theory right there. I really like the idea of Billy D. Williams and them kind of going back and forward. And as far as Donald Glover addressing this on this show on Jimmy Kimmel, this has me way more excited for the series than I thought I was. I feel like this is going to be the path to maybe a Solo 2 in a sense, just at least that vibe, because I still don't think they're ever going to make a sequel to that film, unfortunately. But I think this will be like our way of feeling like we got one. So my excitement level for the Lando series, and I think, okay, I'm going back to Star Wars Celebration here. I think they might pull Donald Glover out on stage and say, here's your Lando Calrissian in the upcoming Lando series, just like they did with Ewan McGregor at D23. Now, it probably won't spark the same craziness, but still, I think that'd be a perfect opportunity.
I don't know about that. I would be willing to think that it will spark a huge, draw. It's Childish Gambino.
Facts.
At the end of the day. I mean, that man is, you can say whatever you want about him. The guy's an artist. Okay. Like, I don't necessarily agree with every viewpoint he has on life, which, me and Caleb probably don't agree with every viewpoint we have on life. But at the same time, I think this man is incredible at what he does as a comedian, as an actor, as an artist, a musical artist, a rapper. I mean, he knows stuff. And let's not forget, this man has worked with Ludwig Göransson. I mean, they are both Star Wars royalty, in my opinion. And so it just makes perfect sense that, hey, here we come. Let's put this guy in and see what he can do post Solo.
Yeah. I'm really, really starting to get excited for this thing. So you guys let us know what you think. Are you excited for potentially Donald Glover portraying Lando Calrissian again? I think he crushed it the first time. Can't wait to potentially see him another time. DJ, What's our next news piece? This
one's big. And I almost feel bad because I really wanted Caleb's take on this.
I'll still give some cake.
I know, but
I'll give some cakes. I'll give some takes.
I'll take a cake. I like some carrot cake with my coffee. So that's a good combo, by the way. Hazelnut. Anyway, the coffee, not the cake. So here's the deal. Entertainment Weekly has become like this weird Star Wars hub for Kenobi stuff. I feel like it's just kind of weird that like I feel like with like Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi, it was variety, and then for a minute with Mando and Boba, it was like Hollywood Reporter. And now with Kenobi, it's like all Entertainment Weekly. It's incredible. But they released an interview with the man himself, Hayden Christensen, the chosen one, on returning to the role of Darth Vader in the upcoming series, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We've got some quotes here. I'm going to read them. Okay. So most of these, if not all of them, are straight up from Hayden himself. Okay. So he says, well, without getting into too much detail, it was amazing. It's a great honor to get to put that suit on. And he goes on to say it was mostly a lot of excitement because I had spent enough time with this character. I'm thinking he's leaning towards Anakin, and felt like I knew him. And coming back to it felt very natural in a lot of ways. Then he goes on and says, and I was just really excited to get to come in and play Darth Vader at this point in the timeline, because it did feel like a natural continuation of your journey with the character. And that was very meaningful for me, is what he says. So I'll stop there because there are a few more quotes. But Caleb, up to this point, I won't say these are loaded statements, but there's a lot here.
Yes, no, there is. And one of the things, or a couple of things that just stood out to me as you were reading that. Number one, the fact that he can't get into too much detail about putting the suit on that we've seen for 40 plus years now has me intrigued. Like, is there some new detail to the suit that you can't spill the beans on, Hayden? I think there might be. That I might be reading too much into that, but that's one thing that stood out. Second thing that stood out was him saying that it felt like a natural continuation of the journey with the character at this point in the timeline. I talked about previously, I don't remember what episode it was, but I really hope to see the Anakin that's still conflicted. He's not fully committed to Vader 1000% at this point. Maybe, again, I'm reading too much into that, but that's where my headspace is going when he says that it's a natural continuation. He's still got some Anakin in him, and that's something that maybe we'll get to see.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. And not to mention, I think it was several months ago now, but Star Wars Newsnet did an article about what Hayden could look like as Darth Vader in this series. And somebody on the Star Wars Newsnet team did their own like artist rendition of the information they had received about Hayden in this new suit. So if you want to dig around on Star Wars Newsnet, you can go back and find what that looks like.
Good call. I forgot about that. Good call.
I didn't even remember it until just now. So, I mean, it's weird what I don't know why. I just have this weird like data bank of random Star Wars crap in the back of my head that like every now and then it's just like, here you go. Here's that. Anyway, I'm bragging on my Star Wars knowledge and I don't even care. But at the same time, I think you're right. This is a neat like little piece of information. Okay. So I'll go on real quick and kind of finish these last couple of quotes we have. And then Caleb, I'll toss it back to you for your take and then our next news piece. Okay. So here's what Hayden said. He goes, the whole experience was very surreal. Just the nature of coming back after all this time. It's such a unique opportunity, one that both Ewan and I were very grateful for, which I think that's been very well communicated from both people up to this point. Goes on, one of the things I love so much about working on Star Wars projects is that it's just a shared excitement, which I feel like we've heard that. Let's stop and talk about that for a second. Shared excitement. That's been, I think, a word that's been tossed around a lot by people like Deborah Chow and Ewan, specifically those two, because they're the ones we've heard the most from other than this interview with Hayden. So Caleb, when you hear this idea of a shared excitement, what does that like make you think of like here as far as what's going on set?
I mean, it just gives me joy that for me that everyone's giving it their all. I mean, this thing that we view as precious and wonderful and we can't get enough of, the fact that the people behind the scenes that are actually doing these things get extremely excited that they're on these projects makes me very hopeful that they're going to deliver a very well done piece of work.
Yeah, and I think both of us kind of feel that same sentiment. And I think our listeners did too, because Rafa has jumped in the chat here and he says that Deborah Chow said in an interview that the personality of Vader will be kind of like the middle of episode 3 and 4. So he goes on, I think that we would see a Vader like the Vader comics from 2017 written by Charles Soule. Those comics are crazy. Because I remember when there was one that broke the internet about how Palpatine may or may not have been Anakin's actual father.
Yeah, that one heavily impacted the internet.
We haven't. Oh my gosh. What if Palpatine's in this show?
Oh, I think, have we not talked about that?
I haven't. I'm just now thinking of that. Like the chances of Palpatine showing up are pretty high.
I think in a holographic form, yes. At least.
That's nuts. Oh, and he'll look a little bit like that episode 3 makeup that was freaking dope.
Yeah.
So like,
well, wasn't there that recent, like it was actually an old quote from Ian McDiarmid about not necessarily being done with Palpatine, but it was dug up recently and people were like, oh, he's in Kenobi. Wasn't that a thing recently?
I think I did see that.
Okay.
I'm trying not to get it mixed up with this random Anthony Daniels thing that came up a few weeks ago, but there was something about how he was recording new C-3PO audio.
Oh yeah.
So
Who
like
knows?
I'm trying to make sure I'm not getting that mixed up, but like I think you're right about Ian McDiarmid, so hey, as far as all this goes, this is going to be something neat. And I feel like, there's some more quotes here, but guys, go find the Hayden Christensen, article and read through that, because that thing from EW is extensive. Like it took me like 10 minutes to read the whole thing.
Yeah. No, so great quotes. Great quotes.
So what we got to look at tonight is fantastic, but I'll leave it at that. Unless Caleb, you want to add anything else to this one, I'll just toss it to you.
No, I mean, as far as there's one more thing from the quotes aspect that I do feel is important to mention here. Was the fact that Hayden said, I can tell you the first time I saw Ewan as Obi-Wan again, that was a very special moment for me.
Yeah, that's Master and Apprentice, man. I mean, and I'm really looking forward to the Brotherhood novel that's coming out in May. I've already pre-ordered it, so as soon as I get it, I'm going to read through that thing faster than, I read Master and Apprentice in like a week. So to me, I'm looking at this as like a sequel.
There you go.
That's what I want. I want a Master and Apprentice series, from like 14 different perspectives. But anyway, I imagine that is a cool moment to see those two guys like it's.
Gosh, it'd be great.
We could talk about that forever, but
we could.
It's Obi-Wan and Anakin, man.
And I hope we get a flashback in some form of it actually being Obi-Wan and Anakin again, with maybe Ahsoka. I want that Clone Wars flashback, guys. I want it so bad,
man. Ahsoka's got to be like this, and then you throw in Tim Morrison as like Rex or Cody. Oh, forget it.
Come on.
It's too. Now,
what if both of them are there? I mean, Morrison twice in a scene.
Yeah,
make it happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either.
But I want that to happen. It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool.
All right. You let us know what you think of these comments. Are you excited to see Darth Vader make a return in Kenobi? If you're not, what are you doing with your life? But whatever. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't want Vader in Kenobi, that's fair, I guess. That's fair.
No, it's not. It's a fair enough.
Well, if that's a fair enough that somebody has, I want to hear it with evidence, proof, and supporting statements.
Which you can submit your own fair enough take on
fair
the Discord.
Enough.
If you're a member of our Discord, go in there, and I think it's in live stream questions. If you want to drop your fair enough take, we will read it on the show.
We will.
There you go.
Yes, we will. All right, next news piece. The Obi-Wan Kenobi premiere has been moved to Friday, May 27th, with the first 2 episodes being released, and all following episodes will be released on Wednesdays. 3 things. Number 1, they moved off of the date of May 25th. That's one thing to keep in mind. That's the 45th anniversary of A New Hope. They moved off of that date. Number 2, it's exciting, very exciting, that we get the first 2 episodes. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a lot of Kenobi content that I can't wait to watch it. But number 3, they made the decision to not stick to Fridays. We're just going to turn around and go back to Wednesdays. I have to say, guys, I hate this. I absolutely hate this. And I hate to be harsh. I'm going to love watching, like I said, I'm going to love watching the first 2 episodes in one day. It's going to be great. But I've shared so many times that I love perfectly executed marketing throughout and everything just goes seamless. You had the 45th anniversary locked up. The first time that the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi ever showed up anywhere for this series to come out, and you decide to move the date. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just bothered by this way too much, way too more than I should be. It's cool. It sets up the potential for, like we said earlier, for people at Star Wars Celebration to see the first episode and it be a big deal. But we knew Star Wars Celebration were those dates before we knew the dates for Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I don't get it. I don't get this. I'm being too heated. Passing it to you, DJ. Bring me to the light or something. I don't know.
You're not being too heated because I've seen even hotter takes online in the same vein. You're just boiling, but these people are like boiling, like they've burned their skin. It's so hot, kind of thing. I was initially kind of upset because we talked a lot about releasing on May 4th. And then, that would have been cool because it's Star Wars Day. And then they said May 25th. And it's like, okay, 45th anniversary. That's pretty neat. Mm-hmm. But then it got moved to the 27th and there were like 2 episodes. So for me, I was like, oh, 2 episodes. Yeah. Oh, all right.
That's cool. That's great.
I don't mind, mm-hmm. Then I started thinking, okay, well, it's only 6 episodes. That means there's only 4 more weeks at that point. So it's kind of,
that's another bit, gosh.
It's another bit of like a bummer, but it's like, but you know what? We'll get it faster,
sure. Yeah.
And that's cool. But then you go to the other side of it and it's like, why did they move it? Because of Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel.
Is that why they moved it?
That's what I've seen. And from what I understand, Miss Marvel is releasing on May 25th as well. Or they doubled it up so that it wouldn't release like Kenobi's ending on the premiere day of Miss Marvel or something weird like that.
I'm pretty sure Miss Marvel is premiering on June 8th.
So that's the thing.
Which is a Wednesday.
Kenobi would have ended the day that released. And I think right? Because it's oh no, that's not right.
No, that
doesn't matter at all.
That would have been the 3rd episode of Kenobi.
Well, I genuinely think that they just didn't want extra competition. I don't know. Maybe there's something huge midway through Kenobi, and they're like, don't release that episode the same day as Miss Marvel because nobody's going to tune into Kenobi or nobody's going to tune into Miss Marvel. Or let's go with that. Nobody's going to tune into Miss Marvel because this thing that's happening in week 3 or 4 of this show for Kenobi is so big that it's going to blow the world away. And no one's going to give a rip about Miss Marvel, which who does? Right. Sorry. That's probably a Geekverse Reactions hot take, but listen,
that's the thing too. Like, Marvel has taken the spotlight away from Star Wars so many times. Yeah. Why would we adjust Obi-Wan Kenobi for Miss Marvel at all? If that's why this move was made, I think that's very frustrating. Very frustrating.
I don't know. That's just what I've seen, and that's what I've seen people talk about. And I've seen it like can't think of them now, but I've seen them like reputable accounts. People who know stuff.
Yeah.
Are talking about that being one of the reasons. Also it could be because they just wanted to have that extra buzz at Celebration. I mean,
right.
Because that's what Celebration's about. I mean, to my knowledge, nothing like this is ever released at a Celebration.
Oh no, definitely not.
So there you go. So it's like, let's get everybody who's an Obi-Wan Kenobi cosplayer who's going to Celebration is like losing their mind.
Yeah,
because they show up dressed as the guy, and then boom, 500 Kenobis walk in, and what's on TV? Boom, Ewan McGregor. Who's in the building? Boom, Ewan McGregor. I'm assuming. So who's here? Boom, hologram of Alec Guinness resurrected from the dead. Of course that'd be cool, but they probably won't do that.
Sure.
But anyway, it's just one of those I think that may be the deal. It's move it back, get the buzz. And because it is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think, so makes sense. I, as a non-attender of Celebration,
yeah.
But I keep coming back to it's 2 episodes out of the gate,
sure.
And that's going to be at least an hour's worth of content, maybe more. So.
Oh, and yes, like RFB said in the chat, I'll take it. Obviously, I will be a giddy soul on that day.
And here's the thing.
It's just, and something that you alluded to,
yeah,
it takes away from Kenobi being a month and a half celebration to just a month.
Sure.
Because it's going to wrap up a lot quicker. And that's one of the things, that's why Disney Plus has surpassed Netflix as far as people like engaging with the property, because it's a weekly drug out experience. That's what makes these type of shows so good, because you got people like Mando Talk, you got all these other podcasts that get to do weekly conversations with their great fan base, their great audience, their great listeners. It just shrinks that. And I know we still get 5 weeks.
It's 5.
5 weeks instead of 6. Okay, so maybe I'm being ridiculous.
Not like,
I'm being ridiculous.
I think you're okay, but like let's think about this too real quick, and then we can move on.
Sure.
What happened with Mandalorian season 1 and The Rise of Skywalker? They had 2 episodes that released on a Wednesday and a Friday. Mm-hmm. And what was sandwiched in? Yeah, what was sandwiched in between there? Rise of Skywalker. You remember they had moved a Mandalorian episode so that it wouldn't release the same day as or something.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah,
they had a Wednesday premiere because that's when Disney Plus launched.
Right,
but then they had a Friday episode 2. But then they also, toward the end of December, Rise of Skywalker came out on Thursday, so they moved Mandalorian. I think it was like episodes. It wasn't the finale. I think it was episode 7 when Grogu did his little healing thing the day before Rise of Skywalker.
And I remember being at home. I watched the Mandalorian that morning that came out, and then knew the next day I was going to see Rise of Skywalker. And I was like, well, there's a reason they moved it up.
Yeah.
Watch Grogu force heal, and I was like, oh, no big deal. And then what happens to Rise of Skywalker? Rey does it, and it's actually a huge plot point when you look at it. So when you mesh all that together, here's what I'm not even really trying to have a discussion about why they moved that date. I'm just trying to say we forget that happened, because what are we, 3 years removed now? Nobody gives a rip.
Yeah.
Or 2 years removed. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that they moved Mandalorian up.
No, I mean, you're right.
And so 2 years from now, when we're binging, we're having our, you know what? I'm not going to work today. I'm making me a bowl of cereal, a fat bowl of cereal. I'm watching Kenobi, all 6 episodes. That's going to be me, in like 2 or 3 years. And like my kid will be just old enough that I can be, maybe I'll have another one. I don't know. But my kid will just be old enough that I'm like, hey, come watch Star Wars. I'm like, okay, I'm like, bowl of cereal and watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, it'd be awesome. So at that point, no one's going to give a rip. No one's going to care.
Right.
So for me, that's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to be like 4 steps ahead here and think, does it matter right now? Maybe, but like, it's just a date.
No, you're 1000% right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's just, come on, I don't know.
You just want the anniversary to line up, and I understand
so cool.
that.
It'd be so cool.
Oh, no, it would be, and I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
It's just you moved it back, and I think it's really, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not a big deal.
Right, it's not. It's not
but
at all.
But like right now, and then there's this other part of me that's like, why didn't you just release it on the 25th?
Yeah. It's there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons. And Michelle threw in a great chat here that I'll go ahead and read. You get all that buzz Thursday, knowing 2 episodes are Friday. They may just be that confident of the hype going up against Stranger Things. Stranger Things comes out on the 27th as well, so that's a great. So
it's not even. There. So it's not.
That's Disney Plus saying, "No, excuse you, Netflix."
Yeah, no.
Excuse you.
Yeah. They're like, okay, let's see, because it is a competition at the end of the day.
It is.
So that's exactly what it is. And see, you know what? You go on.
Yeah, we need to get back in that mindset. We need to get back in that mindset. I think it was back when Zach was doing episodes weekly with me.
Yeah.
We got to the point where we realized Disney Plus, Star Wars is not competing with Marvel. They're teammates.
Yeah.
And so that's probably what this move probably had nothing to do with Miss Marvel. It's probably Disney Plus trying to make a stand somewhere.
Totally right. And that's the thing.
There we go. We feel a lot better about it now. Yeah. I apologize, guys. No, I went off. We had our moments, but we're here. We made it. We made it.
I really appreciated Zach's takes on stuff like that when he was on here regularly, because he was really good at like thinking from that angle. Like, and he still is, I bet, you know. We got to get Zach back on the show. But anyway,
Zach, like let's go.
He, come on. He was in the chat. Come on, Zach. But anyway, okay. Are we satisfied on this topic?
I think
on
so.
This news piece? That's probably the article or our news piece that had the least amount of characters in it, you know. but
I spent the most characters talking about it. At least.
I love it. It's great stuff. Okay. I am personally very excited to talk about this news.
Okay.
This next news piece. Okay.
Okay.
Because, and I'm not trying to I love the Kenobi conversation.
No, do it. We need to.
I just want to say
I'm excited for it, guys. I promise. I'm back to positive.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. All right, we're all excited. Okay. So in the realm of positivity, the whole fan community has rallied, and I mean really has rallied behind Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. I've seen so many people just having a blast with this game. I was having a bad week. I've had a couple of really, really rough weeks the last couple of weeks. And it's just been, not that like stuff's gone wrong. It's just been busy, you know? And so in the midst of all that, I was like, man, I really want to get this game. I just don't know if I can right now. So I, talked to my wife, I love her because she knows how to handle our finances, but she goes, hey, you can still get that game. Like it's not going to hurt us. If I was like, okay, cool. Like not that she gave me permission, but like, she was like, we're good. Just get it. I'm like, awesome. Yeah. So I downloaded it, actually pre-ordered it, and I stayed up late for the launch, and I got on it was 11 o'clock my time. So got at 11 PM and boom, you know what it is? It's freaking Lego time. And this game, I've already kind of answered the first question. I have picked it up. It's fantastic. I played through episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I'm going to go chronological with my game.
I think that's the way to go.
I've seen a lot of people starting with the OT,
really?
The original trilogy. Yeah. And I've seen, and an even smaller percentage of people are starting with Force Awakens, which is a little odd to me, but like there's a few really hardcore sequel trilogy fans out there that are like, give me all the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, no, they can't wait for it, so they got to start it. Yeah, that's fair. Well,
this will be the first time that episodes 8 and 9 have been in Lego game form. Right, so, I give them credit there for doing that. But anyway, this game's incredible. It's so much fun. I've actually tweeted a few images from my personal account at RoboscumTexan Texan below the screen. And, it's been a lot of fun playing it when I've had a chance to, and I haven't gotten to in the last couple of days, but it's so much fun. I've picked it up. I love it. It's already, I've screenshot stuff and saved it and tweeted it. And it's a ton of fun. Caleb, when you get the chance, are you planning on picking this game up?
Yes. Coming off of Disney, haven't really finances, right? You were just mentioning that.
Yeah.
I had to prioritize going to Galaxy's Edge over it, so I will eventually get it, and it's probably gonna be my summer game where I just throw on early in the morning before I go out and enjoy the sunshine and all good times. I'll probably get in the habit of waking up early because as a teacher, you get summers off. Yep. You get time off at least. Yep. I'll probably be working somehow, some way. But anyway, when I have the days where I have the full day, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga will 100% be my morning time game because I have heard so many good things and fun things. And that's, again, I've said it so many times on the show. Star Wars games, that's what it's about for me. It's just having fun, exploring the world. And Lego Star Wars brings the goofiness and the fun, and so I'm in. Once I get it, I'll be so committed, and I've seen so many great videos, and one of the ones that has me dying laughing, Zach sent it to me, it's just Kenobi, I think it was Kenobi, just going ham on Palpatine, and the caption was like, "This is revenge for my brother," or something like this. Like, people are just having crazy fun with this.
I did something similar to that. I like I said, I've only played Phantom Menace, but there's a scene when like you first get to Coruscant, and you've got your playable character options are Queen Amidala, which she doesn't really do a whole lot at that point. You can play as Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, baby Jake Lloyd, Anakin, which is, just the best for me. And I think that Jar Jar might be there. I can't remember, but I decided you got to follow Palpatine. So I'm like, okay, he greets you and then you follow him. And I'm like, okay, let's kind of, I know he's the Emperor. So let's kind of like see if Lego does anything funky here. Yeah. So I follow him with Anakin and then he stops and I'm like, do I just get in the speeder or what? So I'm just watching. Okay, I just have to get in the speeder. So it's like, can Jake Lloyd, can baby Anakin like beat up characters? I was like, let's find out. So I just start button mashing this thing, trying to beat the tar out of Palpatine as little Anakin. And just like, maybe I'll get like some weird PlayStation achievement for like boom, you tried, but oh well, kind of deal. So I'm just like, come on. Like,
that's hilarious.
And so I think, let me see if I can find the tweet really quick, because I had so much fun with this. And I love that there's the option to like share images from your PlayStation, what I'm talking about? Like,
PS share or something like that.
Yeah, and I've only ever done it a couple of times, because like it's just not that big. Okay, so here's the tweet. I just said I tried to destroy the Sith ASAP, but it didn't work. And this image is just, I think it's hilarious because it's just like midway through Anakin's punch, and Palpatine's like, oh, it's so funny. And I even tried beating him up with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, nothing. I was like, dang it. Like, I was like really hoping I'd get something funny out of this, that Lego would like toss us a bone or something just for fun's sake, but they did not. And it's a bummer, but it was really fun regardless. So that's just one of the fun things I feel like you can do at this game. And it's only going to get more fun. You look like you've just seen a ghost.
I just saw breaking news.
Well, should we just stop and...
Breaking news. Here it is.
Okay, breaking news. Oh!
Strap in, kid. You're not going to want to miss this view. Join host David Collins as he invites the minds and talent behind Star Wars, The Bad Batch, to discuss highlights from the first season of the acclaimed series, as well as some exciting hints of what's to come in Season 2.
There you go. There's the
Bad Batch
stuff.
Is getting some coverage. Let's go.
About daggum time. I'm going to retweet this from Star Wars Newsnet right now.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Love to hear that.
Yeah,
But
it's good to know that that's coming. So, but anyway, as far as Lego stuff goes, it's like, it's Lego. You're going to love it because it's fun, And I've seen people even say, man, I got this game and knew it was just going to be some silly kids game, but like there's emotion in this game that does not exist. It's really neat. I've seen tweets where people are like, I just downloaded this game and it got me all misty eyed. Now I got to go freaking watch a movie. They're like, they're stopping to play the game to go watch Star Wars. It's hilarious. But like, I haven't done that, but I know I got the feeling that, well, man, when you turn this game on, do not skip the opening credits. Like
never.
It is so cool. So cool. So cool. Anyway, that's it on Lego stuff. I'll toss it back over to Caleb.
Well, I actually think you need to hit this last one because I haven't really dove into this.
Oh, okay.
This online frenziness of this not potential thing, but do it.
Yeah.
Hit it.
It was this really weird thing that kind of like popped up on my timeline, on the TL, as the kids say. And I just was like, what is this? Why does this look so legit? It is a quote unquote leaked Ahsoka versus Maul image. And the first thing I did was I went to Bespin Bulletin. Because I was like, if this is in any way real, Bespin Bulletin has done a report on it. And if they hadn't done a report on it, I'd have gone to the Newsnet. And then if they hadn't done it, I'd have probably gone to like Fantha Tracks. I don't know. I'd have figured something out. But here's the deal. When I saw this image, and I don't know, Caleb, if you've got it on the screen or not, but it is such a cool picture. But it looks like Ahsoka fighting Maul in a desert canyon, and there is a beheaded Mandalorian right at their feet. And you kind of look at it and you're like, this is wild. And you look at Maul and you're like, that's Ray Park is what it looks like. And you look at the Ahsoka fit and you're like, well, that's the same one from Mando. It's like, it just looks so much like the real thing. And the cameras are the kind of the indicator that this is not legit. because if this was a Star Wars project, they would not be using those tiny little cameras. Unless they were trying to keep the crew size small for this one little shot. But that's a rare thing, you know. Right. Like the only other time that's happened in Star Wars is like when Mark Hamill was Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian season 2. So this is just one of those things, I guess. But anyway, this thing caused some frenzy. But once I went to Bestman Bulletin, they were like they said something like 14 different people had already reached out to them, like, hey, is this real? Is this real? Is this real? And he basically goes, nope, this is, you know, he tracked it back to a Reddit account that is known for like doing stuff with cosplayers.
Yeah.
And so it is like some of the most legit cosplaying I have ever seen. If it's not real, I'm still kind of holding out that it's real, but you know, if Bestman Bulletin for right now, they're saying it's not, I'm going to stick with it. But indulge us here, Mando Talk fans and listeners and viewers. The image looks so legit. We have to wonder, what if? Okay. I wish I could do the Watcher voice from What If, but I can't.
What? No, I can't do it either.
it's like we can get certain voices, but not that one. I've got 3 little points here, and Caleb, I don't need to hear my own take. I'm just going to ask. I want to hear your take.
Okay.
Because
sure.
It's cool. But like, let me hear what you got on this. Okay. First thing is this: would we be interested in seeing Maul in the Ahsoka series?
I would be interested if they wanted to do a little flashback to her fighting Maul on Mandalore to try to connect it to the Mandoverse, if you will, very smoothly. That would be great. But outside of that, I'm not really interested in it. I'd rather it be focused on Thrawn.
Fair point. I agree with it in all of it.
Okay,
in the entirety. That's good stuff. Second thing, how would Maul be incorporated into the Ahsoka series? Actually, you just answered that.
Oops, so, yeah, I did.
Never mind.
That would be my take. Do you have any other kind of ideas, though?
Well, only if they do some sort of Crimson Dawn thing.
Ooh, yeah.
And there was a Crimson Dawn TV show rumor at one point.
You're right, there was. But I thought it was like animated.
It was animated. Yeah. I was going to say, I think it was animation. Well, that doesn't mean that Ray Park can't get involved. He got involved with Clone Wars season 7 and did that amazing mocap. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Now, the last thing here is, do you think that given that Ray Park is still like a fixture and he's still in great shape, and you know, Sam Witwer is still doing stuff with Star Wars, being the voice of Maul from Clone Wars and also Solo Star Wars Story, do you think a Maul live action series would be something, you know, like it doesn't have to be Crimson Dawn. It's just about Maul. You know, what do you think about maybe that idea?
You know, I love Maul. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Love him. I've never really thought of a Darth Maul just centered show. Anytime I think of just Darth Maul show, I can't detach Crimson Dawn from it. I feel like that would be the story if Maul was to get his own thing. Now, a prequel for Phantom Menace to dive into those connections and feelings that he has as far as how him and Palpatine developed a relationship, that would be something. But I think you would get detached from Ray Park at that point.
You'd have to.
For sure. Because he doesn't have that physique anymore.
Well, I think with age, and I don't mean this like in a bad way, as you get older, you get more broad, you know, and like he's a mixed martial artist. So like his craft is literally built around his body, you know, so he would have to do like a very weird exercise regimen he was like 21 or 22, I think, when he was Maul and Phantom Menace. So like he has to somehow lose 20 years worth of body mass, which makes no sense. Like it would be, if he did it, it would be like a Christian Bale overnight, you know, lose weight thing. And I don't see someone like Ray Park doing that. I think he's at a place in his life, not even just his career, but his life, where he knows he'll shave his head for Maul, no problem.
Yeah.
Like he said that, but like, I don't think he's willing to like change his physique, because that's dangerous for an athlete.
It is.
It's real dangerous for an athlete. I mean, look at guys like Brock Lesnar, who went from WWE to UFC and then back to wrestling. You know, that's those aren't the same thing, and to go back to wrestling after doing UFC for however many years. I think he was in it for like 10 or 11 years or 12 years. It doesn't make sense. And I think given that I use the parallel because it's wrestling is acting and mixed martial arts is UFC. Yeah. So I just don't see something like that happening where he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the idea of a prequel. And I think that, you have Ray Park on set to be like, hey, I would do it this way, mm-hmm. like he's a consultant or something. I don't know.
Well, and something that I'm kind of thinking of as you pose that question is I think a lot of the things that I would want from a Maul series, again, we're detaching the Crimson Dawn idea away from it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Anything that I would want from a Sith type Maul series, I feel like we have the potential to get in the Acolyte.
I was thinking
so
that
I don't really see if the Acolyte executes well. I think at that point, after I'd seen that, I won't have the necessity or feeling of seeing like another Sith-led show. I'd rather just kind of focus in on the Acolyte kind of time frame rather than focusing on all these other Sith Lords that we've come to know, if that makes sense.
I think you're right. And it like Acolyte could explore like Sith history,
mm-hmm.
But like, isn't Acolyte supposed to take place like after the High Republic or something? Like it just.
I think so.
Or is it?
It's like 300 years before Phantom Menace.
Okay, so yeah, like unless Maul is like way older than we thought he was, like there's no way that he would show up in that.
Right.
But it's still like, something could happen, I guess. But I think you're right. If we're gonna get something Sithy.
Mm-hmm.
It should probably be an Acolyte, and it doesn't need to focus definitely doesn't need to focus on Palpatine, but it does need to focus on like Maul or Dooku or even Vader. It just doesn't need nothing. None of that needs to take place. So anyway, I kind of think I'm with you there in that same vein.
All right, sweet. Well, I did have a chance to look at the image kind of while you were going. The cosplayers do look really good.
It's wild.
Really good. But yeah, the cameras are kind of giveaways. That's just not it.
I just don't know. Just looking real quick, it's kind of difficult to like tell.
Yeah.
I know the camera crews will take a real small crew and go out there.
Sure.
And to me, this Ahsoka, it's not Rosario Dawson. It just, there's no way. But this Maul, man, when you zoom in on him, it just looks so much like Ray Park. I mean, that's the thing for me. But I think we're what Bespin Bulletin kind of shared. It's just cosplayers doing their cosplay thing, and go for it, man. That looks freaking awesome. I wish I was a part of that because that's really cool stuff.
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, those are all the news pieces that we for sure had to hit. I do want to at least plug this. On StarWars.com, they've released some exclusive excerpts to Shadow of the Sith and Brotherhood. So go check those out if you're really excited for those novels. They're pretty good excerpts, so I highly recommend you going to check that out. Thank you so much for giving Mando Talk another listen this week. We'll be back next week at the same exact time. DJ, any final thoughts you would like to share to our lovely, lovely audience?
Just that Shadow of the Sith looks really good from that excerpt. Uh-oh, what's up?
RFB in the chat says that Acolyte's 50 years before Phantom Menace. I didn't know it was that close.
Okay, well then we might get Plagueis content.
Yeah. We might get some connections. More connections than I thought.
Well, I mean, anything I think is good that leads us to what we get in Phantom Menace, because Phantom Menace is the best. Oh, I never said this. I put my EOP up here tonight because I got to ride the EOP in the Phantom Menace Lego game, and that made me very happy. So you do get to ride an EOP in Lego Star Wars. So, like, I love the EOP. What can I say? So I want to throw that in there. Shadow of the Sith looks great. And finally, I'm going to embarrass my little brother real quick.
Do it.
My youngest brother, Brock, who's not been on the show before.
Uh-huh.
I put a video up of him on my Twitter, and I scared him by playing the Clone Wars theme over our sound system at our church. And if all of you know, the Clone Wars theme slaps. So when it hits hard, it's hilarious. So go to at Rebels Come Texan on Twitter, scroll a little bit, and you'll see this hilarious video of me scaring my brother. It's awesome. And Brock, if you're listening to this,
nice. I love that. But I will say this before you scroll a little bit on at Rebels Come Texan, hit the follow button. And then also, while you're there, make sure you go to Mando Talk, Mando Talk on Twitter. Hit that follow button.
I don't need any followers.
Yeah, you do. By association, it's all one big thing. You know, if they go to you, they end up coming to Mando Talk. Just as important.
It's in the bio, all right? It's in the bio if you really want to. Oh, and one other thing. I just want to throw, this is one other thing I've been doing in my life. I've started doing some drum covers to some songs.
There you go.
On my channel that I comment on here, you can go to my channel and check out some of my drum covers if you like. No big deal if you don't. It's not something I'm trying to get off the ground, but if you want to go check it out, it's there.
Fair enough. I love that. Nice plug. Nice plug. All right. Thank you so much, everybody that checked us out this week. We can't wait to be back again next time. Like we've already mentioned, if you want to get some content from us and some conversations and get to know us some more between now and next Thursday at the same exact time, 6 p.m. Central, by the way, Discord, there's a link in the description. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Mando Talk on all of those platforms. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get to talk to you. And until next time where we talk in the mics, as always, we have spoken.